On day 2, I saw a old lady crossing the yellow tape, and police was running, tried to stop her, and she was screaming that her daughter was there. Sometimes you have to be so strong to not break down on the side when you cover this, but you are a mess as soon as you get to your car.
My nephew and all the family, they were in 1010. The last name is Beth and Jill.
I don't think any of us knew what we were going to be driving into, what sort of urgency and just horrific scene we were going to come across. I don't think anybody could have ever imagined it for a moment.
No, cuando yo llegué a la playa, yo miré el edificio y yo no lo podía creer lo que yo estaba mirando, porque edificios no se caen así en los Estados Unidos. Tantas cosas ocurriendo alrededor tuyo a la misma vez, gente llorando, helicóptero de la policía. Entonces tú decías, Dios mío, ¿qué es esto? ¿Dónde yo estoy metido? Yo parecía que estaba metido en una escena de una película. Cuando estoy tomando fotos, al principio no me fijo, pero luego cuando enfoco bien, noto que hay unas literas en el último piso y honestamente eso me conmocionó mucho, porque lo primero que se te viene en la cabeza es, hay niños en esa casa. ¿Dónde estarán esos niños? ¿Estarán a salvo? ¿No estarán a salvo?
I could see a portion of the building that had collapsed, the first responders, and people were arriving, and they were very upset. And as I got closer, I could see the face of the condo that had collapsed, and people's personal belongings, beds, dressers, all dangling from the side of the building. It was pretty emotional to see. I was watching people's reactions, and one woman arrived at the scene, and she dropped her knees and started crying. I have to push myself to capture images like that. Photographs like this raise awareness, can cause people to react and change policy and possibly save lives in the future.
I just remember always having to give myself a little pep talk before I drive back over the bridge to Surfside. I was just so sad. I just didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to think too much about it. I wanted to get it done for the day and try to put it aside for a little while.
It was really hard to deal with it. Not only in the beginning, but all along, day in, day out, for almost 2 months, hours, spent in a boat, just keeping an eye on the building, couldn't avoid thinking about this, even getting home and not even being able to disconnect.
It was close to home. I grew up on Miami Beach, a couple miles south of where this occurred. My aunt owned a home in Surfside, so I have very vivid memories of, going, walking from her house to the beach, and I basically relived all of that while on assignment, having to traverse the streets, having to recognize and become familiar with the location. And I ended up calling my aunt and asking for her address, and it happened to be just a couple blocks away. So this did hit home.
This could have been us. It really could have been. I live in a condo, about the same age. And I think how quickly things can change. This is the beach that we visited. We drove by to go to Bal Harbor, our favorite restaurant, or shopping, or to an assignment. You would pass by this building. It seemed so concrete. And to know that anything can fall, all of it can be lost in less than 15, 30 seconds. It's a reminder that life is special.
My biggest concern when I was photographing at the reunification site was trying to be as respectful as possible to those who were there. One thing that I kept in the back of my mind was, hopefully these images, these videos, these confessionals will help these families either reunify with some family member. Maybe they weren't in that building, maybe they were nearby, and if not, you know, there's a lot of people out there who are willing to help, and you know, it could be a call out to them to step forward and to do right by some of these families.
Some of the communities, including the Argentinian and the Jewish Venezuelan, were very much affected by this tragedy. At one point, one of the reporters asked for a contact for one of the Venezuelan victims, and I happened to know the best friend. That's how interconnected our communities are. And it was important to me that they were represented in the visuals.
I was asked by the Metro-Dade Police PIO to be the pool photographer for a small ceremony that we're going to have at the site of the collapse. And when the ceremony started, I remember I saw a gentleman that works as a rescuer for the Israeli rescue unit, and he saluted as, you know, when the ceremony was going on, and that was a very poignant moment for me. It was painful. I mean, you know, you kind of realize that at that point there is no hope of finding anyone alive, although people were still hopeful. Basically, they were switching from a rescue mission to a recovery mission. So that's really the point that stands out, really stands out in my mind.
One of the moments that it will be with me forever, I had the opportunity to interview a first responder, Nicole Nori.
I also have friends that I'm looking for in there. My friends' parents are in there. Still haven't found them, and so it's hard.
It was probably one of the first accounts of the first moment, because she was there from the beginning, and that was really it was really hard, you know, to listen to her narration. That interview with Nori, Miss Nori, you know, it's something that really touched me.
Our suffering of covering it was so minimal compared to what the families and also some of the rescuers were going through. You'd see them coming out, you know, in teams and just looking, you know, kind of like they'd been in a war zone.
It was really a tragedy that no one was expecting to see, and it's something that forever, you know, will be in the history of this community.